Yeah, OTBSpreads prediction show, May 13th. Come to you live with NBA best bets. We have the Cavs going into Detroit, taking on the Pistons in a pivotal game 5. Let's see where we shake out. We cashed on the Cavs the other night. They needed that game. This has been a 2-win game in Detroit for Detroit, 2-win game for Cleveland in Cleveland. Let's see who can steal one on the road. That's probably is who's going to be winning the series, in my opinion. So tonight, this game does decide the series. I will say it. I will call it. I will own it. If Cavs win tonight, they will win the series. If the Pistons win tonight, they will win the series. So with that said, I talked about it the other day. Cavs have the better offense. We saw it the other night. It started clicking. They got it together. Evan Mobley gave some production for once. We saw him step up, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. That's the line they need. They don't need 9, 1, and 4, even 13, 8, and 4. A decent line. They need this. They need him. That extra bucket or two is going to make a difference. It's going to open things up for guys like Harden, for guys like Donovan Mitchell. You know, and this guy, 43 points, that's an anomaly, but he's getting hot, man. He didn't look great in the first half, but he got going. Harden played a better game. You know, a lot of us think that Harden's a little undersized for this big athletic Pistons roster. But look, man, they're not getting production out of their other guys. I mean, Tobias Harris had another decent game. He didn't have the 20-point game, like I said. I told you guys he was due for regression, and he did. He still rebounded the ball well. So if you took him for the 25, he just missed it. The 25 points and rebounds, he just missed. Vegas had his line at 24.5. But we knew regression was coming for him at some point. This guy, I don't know if he's going to break 15 points in the playoffs. I mean, he's just been awful. Detroit can't win the series with him playing bad. So I'm still curious to see if he gets going. He played well against the Pistons. He's averaged decent numbers against the Pistons. And, over a career, only 13. But Jalen Duran wasn't the Jalen Duran we know of now. Back in 24, he kind of has come into his own this season, scoring 33 against them, scoring 24 against them. But here, as of late in these playoffs, he's been bad. Just flat out hasn't looked good. So I'm going to go Cavs here tonight, guys. Plus 3.5 at minus 104. If you wanted to take the alt line, give yourself 2 full possessions at plus 4.5. Probably get that around minus 120, minus 130. I don't hate it. Grab that play. Cavs here are the better offense, in my opinion. They got the best player on the floor, arguably, in Donovan Mitchell. If you wanted to argue with me about Cade Cunningham, I completely understand it. I get it. Cade Cunningham, for me, if you can find a way to kind of blitz him as he comes into the lane, that's where you're going to get an advantage, because really he's such a good scorer in the paint. You give him an elbow jumper and you let him get to his spot. You let him hit that little floater on you, getting into the lane. He'll eat you up, or he's big enough to draw contact. But if you can, force him to a jump shot or take away some of his penetration, he's not the best scorer on the floor. Donovan Mitchell can beat you on both ways. He can beat you at the rim. He can beat you from deep. That's why I kind of lean Donovan Mitchell's the best player on the floor, especially when he's shooting well and he's feeling his rhythm. Outside of that, man, we didn't see a lot of production. Duncan Robinson, All-Star Thompson did okay last game. I mean, he's not a scorer of the basketball. We know that, But even then, his rebounds were down. He's typically, 7-8 rebound guy. Across the board, he played okay. He didn't do great. He played great defense like he always does. Doesn't really reflect on the stat sheet. 1 steal, 0 blocks. He's normally 2 steals, 2 blocks. He just didn't have as good of a game. We'll see where it shakes out tonight, man, in Detroit. I don't know if there's a true edge in this game other than riding with the hot hand in the Cavs. I think that their offense is the better offense. They've been the better offense. If I'm the Knicks, in my opinion, I think I'd rather draw the Pistons. Especially with the way the Knicks have played defense as of late and the way they've scored the ball. If I'm the Knicks, I don't know if I want to draw the Cavaliers. Cavaliers match up pretty well with the Knicks. I don't think the Pistons match up as well with the Knicks. We all know that the Pistons create their offense off of turnovers. And the Knicks do a fairly good job at not turning the ball over because the ball's in Brunson's hands most of the time. Josh Hart, when he has it, takes care of it pretty well. Karl Anthony Towns, I think, matches up about even with Mobley or Jared Allen. I guess you could say Jalen Duran might be too physical for Karl Anthony Towns, but Karl Anthony Towns has a way of drawing fouls, and Jalen Duran has a way of getting in foul trouble. So I honestly think the Pistons would be the better matchup for the Knicks here. It all comes down to turnovers tonight. They limited their turnovers. The Cavaliers did last game. They shot the ball better from the perimeter. I believe we see more of the same tonight. I know they're in Detroit, and the Cavaliers have not looked good on the road. They lost both in Toronto, I believe they lost both in Toronto, and they might have split the series. I'd have to go back and look. But they've lost both in this series in Detroit. Like I said, I'm all in on the Cavs. I believe that they're the second best team in the East outside of the Knicks. If you watch my prediction show back in February, I called the Spurs to the finals and the Knicks to the finals. If I had to pick two teams outside of them, it would have been the Thunder and the Cavs. So, and then once Jason Tatum came back, I started kind of re-guessing that. I said, this Celtics team with Tatum in it looks different. But we just saw that, they rely too much on Tatum and they rely too much on Jaylen Brown, and it turns into a three-point contest, which is you live and die by the three in this league. If you go cold, you're going to lose games. That's exactly what happened to them in that series against the Sixers. So here, guys, I'm going to go with the Cavs. Give me plus 3.5, plus 4.5, whichever price you want to buy. But I'm going to go with the Cavs. And honestly, I'm going to sprinkle the money line as well. I haven't given any looks towards the half plays, but you might want to give a look towards the first half here, and see where that line shakes out, where the value is for the Cavs to go into the half with the lead. Look, I believe that this game goes over tonight for the Cavaliers. I would take the Cavaliers team total over 105. I believe that they have a good game here. I think that this game finishes out somewhere, around 208 to 212 for the total. But I believe that the Cavs have majority of that total and they win the game. So give me the Cleveland Cavaliers over 105 team total points. Give me the Cavs plus 3.5. And that's where we're going to go. Sprinkle the money line a little bit, guys. Yesterday we did take a loss. We did have plus 10.5 on the Timberwolves. I thought we'd see a more competitive Timberwolves team. I thought that the defense would get up into the Spurs a little bit, keep it more competitive. There was a couple times where we saw them get it back within 4 to 6 points, and it looked like, okay, here we go. This is what I expected. I expected the Timberwolves to lose. Didn't expect them to get blown out. So that's my take on it, is that Wemby's just too much for him. And Wemby came out, was firing from deep, 16 points in the first quarter. They just couldn't handle Wemby. Reason I'm on the Spurs to win it all is, look, they've got Victor Wembanyama. He's probably, in my opinion, I know that we all love to see the guys create their shots, the dribble drive, the dunks, all. Victor Wemby, when it's all said and done, might be the greatest player to ever live. Might be the greatest player to ever live when it's all said and done. The guy's 7'4". He creates so much shot disruption around the rim. He's long. He can block shots. He gets steals. He can shoot the ball. He can handle the ball well enough. He can create his own shot off of a catch, pivot, and shoot, or a catch, pivot, drive. He's a true triple threat. He can pass. He can shoot. He can do it all. He can dribble a little bit. I really think that Victor Wembanyama, when it's all said and done here, if he can stay healthy, we saw Yao Ming come into the league, and Yao Ming was nowhere near NBA ready like Victor Wembanyama is. But similar size, right? Yao Ming was more husky, a little bit more meat on his bones. But like Ming couldn't stay healthy later in his career. If him and McGrady would have been healthy together, I think that would have been a fucking dynasty of a team as well. They just never were healthy and on the same page. And I think that this team with Castle and De'Aaron Fox and Wembanyama, man, big bright future ahead of them. There's always a team that's going to dethrone you. It was the Golden State Warriors for the Miami Heat. And look, I think that the Spurs are breathing right down the necks of the Thunder. So give me the Cavs tonight, and then I do believe the Spurs will wrap it up here on Friday when they go back and they play the Timberwolves in Minnesota. I do believe they wrap it up and win it. They're not going to let it go to a Game 7. So just curious to see where that line comes out at. I haven't taken a look yet. But yeah, man, make sure to drop your comments if you're on the Pistons side and why. If you just believe that they're too much for the Cavs tonight, if you think that the scoring is going to step up, I don't believe it is. I just think that the Cavs, they're going to find a way to grind this thing out. And even if they lose, I think I would rather have the plus 3.5, plus 4.5 in my pocket. I believe they keep it close. Like I said, I think this is game total somewhere between 208 to 212, and I believe that the Cavs have 105 of those points. And if that's the case, I think we could see like a 108 to 105 win by the Pistons if they did sneak it out. So give me the plus 3.5 here with the Cavs. I believe we got a game late. I know we haven't seen a ton of close games with this series. It's been back and forth, and then it seems like one team pulls away late. So I expect this one to be different. I expect this one to be close. So I want the points in my pocket. Plus 3.5. Let's go and see where it shakes out. A couple player props. I'll scroll for you guys here on Blowout Alert. It is in the descriptions tab if you wanted to download it. A couple guys being recommended tonight. Harden for 16. These are the DFS props. They're a little bit more favorable, less value, more juice. These are more of like the sharp plays where you're going to get the props under the suspects tab with props. These are probably going to be closer to minus 110, minus 120, minus 130 plays. Jalen Tyson, PRA over 6.5. I don't know how big I am on taking anything on Jalen Tyson. He hasn't really showed us a lot this series, so he's done okay with his minutes, but he only got 7 minutes last game. I'd probably stay away from that one. Sam Merrill, though, on the other hand, I kind of do like him for that 8.5 on the over PRA. If you can find it, it'll probably be available on Bet365, probably not on FanDuel. FanDuel doesn't like giving too many of the bench players or the lower minute guys. They just don't like doing it, especially on PRA because it easily hits. Who's somebody else I might like? Strauss, I love him for rebounds and assists. Dude's been rebounding the ball really well this series. So, he's hit that number, I think almost every game this series. He's hit that number every time but once. The rebounds and assists over 5.5. I do like that. So there's a couple plays for you guys to take a look at. If you want to download Blowout Alert, just go to the link in my description. It'll say Blowout Alert. If you want my premium plays, use code word EDGE. Click on the Winible link, and I'll see you on the other side. Book the one way. Appreciate you.